closed meeting to order. The first item on the agenda would be to review the minutes of the November 4th meeting, also the special meeting of November 12th.
Everybody look at them beforehand? I read them all, make a motion to approve.
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Is that for both of them?
Yep.
Did you second that motion? You seconded
Yes,
right?
second.
Motion is for approval of the November 4th and November 12th.
12, yes.
Minutes.
Okay, perfect.
Bills, communications, and the warrant.
What was Tom Kimball doing for electrical work over here?
Let me see. That was for a stove that we had a tank that went on oxygen, so we had to replace the gas stove to electric.
No worries, just curious.
Yeah, no problem.
Ron, looks good to me, I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. You'll have the director's
I'm sorry, I'm
report.
not taking it. Did you second that too?
Yeah, no.
No. Okay, thank you.
Want me to take the notes?
Okay, so.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Go to it.
All right. Okay, so a reason why I brought the board in early today was because last week we had a walkthrough with the highway department to fix a project that we got a grant for. We had received a grant, and it says if you have this colored paper, we had received a grant for $10,000 to replace a parking area outside of the community center, which is this parking area here. So when he came and he gave us a price of the work, it was a lot less than $10,000. So I asked him what he could do with the $10,000. So he said he could rip up the parking lot, fix the space, and also put a layering of pavement from the street all the way to building 7 here around the corner. So I thought that was a really good idea. So I asked him to give me a price on doing just the whole, everything, including digging up the space. And he said that they could do it for $20,000. In the meantime, I got on the phone with DHCD, and they're trying to find a way to fund it. Worst case scenario is, since we've been doing these capitalization projects, these formula funding projects, there's a new thing now where you can get administrative fees. So every project that we do, 10% comes back to administrative, to paper and for other things that the office may need. Currently we have $17,000 in administrative fees. So worst case scenario is if we have to use that $10,000, so we'll have 7 left. But to be honest with you, for the price we're getting everything done, I really think that it would be worth it for us to use that money because it just sits in the account anyway. And I really think once that's done, we'll have that done, the vinyl siding, all new front doors, our windows are done, our roofs are just done. I think we're going to be sitting in a really, really good place. So they are doing the work right now for the $10,000 outside, but I asked the board's vote to go ahead and use the extra $10,000, whether it's going to be all from our admin money or DHCD might meet me halfway and give us some emergency funding. So either way, it's either going to be 10 or it might be less because DHCD might kick in some extra money for us. So the 10,000 original is already there, so we're just looking at the 10,000 extra.
The 10,000 was to originally replace this asphalt area,
Yes.
parking area for this building.
Yeah, it was a grant because the stump came through right here and it was a really bad tripping hazard and people were getting on their cars. So it was actually a health and safety grant. So the rest of the money wouldn't be a grant, it would be it would be formula funding money, but either from our administrative fees or they might meet us halfway, like I said, and give us some emergency reserves. I think Mike was saying if we were to have somebody come in here, it would probably cost over $60,000. The other thing is because it's government to government, we don't have to use procurement because one government agencies, they're helping us out. So I think it's a really, I mean,
That was my biggest question or concern. I see the town's outside working.
Yeah.
We're talking money-wise, so I didn't know how that was working, so it's all.
yeah, that was,
We
for,
can-
yes, that was the
Our
first
board
thing.
is hiring their board or their.
Yes, yeah, we are paying for the work being done, and because it's in government, you don't have to procure, which if we did, we'd have to have an architect come out, everything else, so we're
It
definitely.
does sound like a great deal. I was wondering why it's so cheap, but then I see them, I'm wondering, are we just paying for materials or how
Yes,
it's working?
and the town of Acushnet has been very good to us in the
Yeah.
last 4 to 5 years. They, they do save us a lot of money, and I think we are where we are because of how much the town does help us out.
No doubt, man. So I'll make the motion.
Okay?
I'll
Second.
second.
Second motion?
So there's another email in here. It's just an email and I highlighted it. So basically what this email is for is, when they came out to give us the money for the siding, they put in a certain amount for us. So when the quotes came out a lot more than they figured it would cost. So this basically amendment here, don't you believe? So I need a board's vote. So what happened was we didn't have enough money, but they already did the job. So there was only 2 things that they could do. They were either going to take from our reserves, or, well, they were going to take from our reserves. But if they took the extra money from our reserves, it would have put our reserves at 40%. So because this wasn't our fault, we kind of fought with DHCD saying, once the job's already bid, you set yourself up to, there's a limit now. If you cancel the job and it gets rebid again, they're going to look at the old bids and they're going to go off of the old bids. So it's really not a good thing to go ahead and rebid a project. So there was, I think, $48,000 that was missing from the project. So we fought with DHCD saying this wasn't our fault, that somebody dropped the ball because the job should have never been bid if we didn't have enough money. Some of the money from, I think $37,000 from of this project comes from the town. They gave us the CPA money. So there was an additional $47,000. So we need to make, the board needs to amend this 5001 Amendment 6 because DHCD decided that somebody did drop the ball, it wasn't us, and they're going to give us the money through emergency funding so we can go ahead and get the project off the ground. So I just need the board to vote the increase in CFA by $89,044 to the contract date service from 6/30/22 to 6/30/23 so they can go ahead and give us the funding. So basically, it's an amendment on something you voted for an additional $89,044.
So I have a motion to that effect.
Before we, have we picked a company to do the job?
That's going to be next, and that's going to be a
Okay, that's fine.
discussion.
Did we put the copy before the horse? Again, some of these quotes are way, way higher, so
Yeah.
is this number based on the low bidder here? or-
Yes, the number is based on the low bidder. Either way, we just need the money because we wouldn't be able to do it. But if you want to go over that too, at the end is the bidding in the back page of your packet is the bidding prices. And we didn't even realize this until we sat down and talked to the HCD about it. Do you have this in the back on the other side of yours?
No.
No, I think
The
it's.
last one.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay,
That's no problem.
Siding and trimming.
So the price came.
Siding doors and maybe shutters, or not in this big price?
The shutters actually do read, because we went through the quote, the shutters read shutters for the front of the building, so we're hoping it's gonna be the whole front of the building. We haven't had our construction meeting yet, because we haven't picked a contractor. But what happened was, they put out the bid, and of course they put out the bid with COVID. There's so many contractors that are just,
Not
they're
looking for
busy,
it.
yeah, they're busy, they can't do it, so these were the quotes we got. It was way over what we even expected, and if you look, it says alternate number 1 and alternate number 2. That's without alternate number 1 and alternate number 2. Alternate number 1 and alternate number 2 are the garage and the community center.
Okay.
So the bid of $355,000 does not include the community center or the garage. So that kind of hurt a little bit, so.
Is this amended price, the additional 89, just
Just-
including the 355?
Without the 2 amendments, correct. So if you take out the garage and the community center, we needed an extra $47,000 for that. I did talk to our construction person up at DHCD, and we talked to Michael. Mike's the one who said it, and he thinks that if he did side this, he could probably side it under $15,000. So she basically said, just have your board vote for this. We're gonna vote to hire Dandis, that way we can start the construction process. And a year from now, if Mike can do it for that price, then DHCD might give us the rest of that funding. Because, I mean, if you look at it, to do both buildings, it's $33,500 to $30,000, so that's $63,500 to side this building, which, I mean, and the garage. That's just crazy, crazy.
From the angle I come in and look, the buildings aren't that bad. Should we hold off on the whole project for a year until these bids are realistic? Because they're crazy.
Well, the thing is, there is water getting behind a couple of buildings, so it definitely has to be done.
Yeah, because water
So they
is
don't rot out, but I think DHCD, because I asked the same thing. First of all, I just said my board will never approve putting us at 40% reserves. That's crazy. And then I also said that, you know, can we just put the project on hold? The thing that happens at that point is they're gonna pull up these bids and they're gonna be the same price in 2 years from now, because these bids are already kind of like a graph of where they're gonna start and where they're, you know.
Or it might be the opposite. You might have a local competitive company come in and say, okay, we know, you know,
Yeah.
back when things were crazy, it was 355. We can do that for 300.
And I totally agree with you, and I wanted to do that, but the other problem is DHCD right now has the money to give us, and if they end the program, then we might not get it at all. So we're just caught in a really bad situation that had nothing to do with us, because I agree with you, I don't even think the project should actually have went out for bid at that point, because we didn't even have enough funding in there. So,
Well, again, the 355 doesn't sound ridiculous considering you've got another bid for 615,000. But are we going to have trouble with this Dandis coming in and saying, well, when we bid, that siding was available, now it's not available, it's beyond our control, we can't hold that quote, you know, is...
yeah. They're signing a contract saying they can do the job, so they're gonna be held to that, to everything that they did sign it for, so.
Quotes are usually good for.
There's nothing in
certain
that contract
time,
that says due to things beyond our control, like siding availability or increase. Because I just got a letter from Hobby saying they're up 10%.
Yeah.
You know, just this week, up 10, another 10%, it's already crazy.
Yeah, well, Mike's been talking to, the, person that did the bidding and, going over exactly what we asked for, exactly what we want, the colors, and
They feel
she's,
confident.
yeah, he felt pretty confident. Other they have done work for housing authorities before, and they did say that they're a good company. They're just waiting for the board to bid it so we can have the construction meeting. Once we have the construction meeting, then we can make a list, lay everything out at that meeting itself. We'll know, you know, from them, they'll know from us, and then we'll go ahead and sign the papers, and then yeah, we'll know from there.
All right, there was a motion, I'll make a second to
So the first motion
Increase
would
the-
be, yeah, to increase the amendment,
Article 1, Amendment 6.
89,000?
yeah, $44.
Yeah.
$89,044, yeah.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed.
Do we now need a bid to accept a little bit here?
Yes, so our next thing is we're gonna, we need a bid to accept Dandis contracting out of Canton, Mass, in the amount of $355,000, not including the garage and the community center.
Again, more for the general public than us, we've read it all, but they were the lowest bidder by far. They're $120,000 lower than the next bidder,
Yeah.
and over three, I don't know, over $260,000 cheaper than the high bidder, so I don't see a lot of alternative here.
I make a motion, we put that to bid with Anders contract.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
You know, if you really look at it too, the bid chart, it was, bidder number 4, their alternates was $75,000 for the garage and the, community center. It's crazy. All right. So on the office, report, we've definitely been, putting a lot of work. I know I've been putting a lot of hours in, trying to close all of these construction reports, and the Department of Housing has a new system now, it's called SIMS, and a lot of contractors, it's hard to get contractors now to work for the Housing Authority because everything has to be done on this particular program. So if somebody's doing a job and they come out and they do work for the day and they have to do an invoice, they have to do an invoice. I have to go into the computer, accept it, then it goes to DHCD. So it's a lot of work on the office, like to be, it's something that we have to check every day because there's so many construction projects going on and we have to approve things, not approve them, go back and forth with DHCD. So we've been doing I've been doing a lot of that this month. As far as the 2 apartments, they're still on hold. Mike has been working on them. Garfield Street is finished, so he'll have more time to work on the apartments. So we still have 3 apartments open. 1 is going to be rented next week, and then we'll have 2 left. That list, I just created another list for the non-elderly handicapped. I created a list of 35 people. I'm going to be sending out the applications tomorrow. So hopefully we can get 2 out of 35 people that will send out applications. The last time we sent out 40 applications, we didn't have 1 person. We actually had 3, but because we're a non-smoking facility, we had 3 people turn it down because they didn't want to have an apartment that didn't smoke it. So on to the new list and hope that'll be better than the last one. So.
Do you have a limit how many hours you can? You got a 20-hour?
I work 18 hours, but I always work over that.
What happens if you work over? You take comp time?
I don't.
Why not?
Don't solve it.
I was actually going to ask the HCD about that. I do get salary, but last week I put in 26 hours in the office, and I probably put about 6 more at home because there's some stuff I can do from the computer at home. But not every week it's like that. I think from now until February, I think it's going to be really crazy.
But the truth is, the reason I have, you have a limit, but over hours you go, you need to be paid for.
I understand why you can't take comp time because she can never work less than the 18 because
Exactly.
the job won't get done.
Yeah.
My question was, you just brought up in the beginning about how we have that other money, the $17,000 because of office time, office-related projects. So
Yeah.
how come we're not
Hey,
squaring up with you on that?
I can get a certain percent, but they'll only give so much in each project. This is all new.
But that's why it's
Yes.
going in there so that, because
Yes.
it's the 10%, it's the 10, so.
Yeah, so I am gonna put in for it. I don't know what's gonna happen. You have to put in for it. It's one of those things on that computer. I'll put in my hours. If it's approved, they might approve so much, I can take so much. The 10% isn't, it's for admin, it's for everything. So they're saying now that we can take it, so I am looking into that. I have been keeping all my hours on each specific project because that's another thing that if I'm working on that project, I have to mark my hours because each item line comes from each different project. So that's
Because
what I'm learning now.
now is the time you have more hours because you have all the constructions, everything. When soon normalize everything, you go back for your 18 hours.
Yes, once it's done.
That's it, that's done, but for now, it's extra job.
Yeah, it's a new thing that I'm just learning about, so I will be able to collect some of it, so. And like I said, there's weeks that I don't do much, but there's weeks that I do. There's weeks I do my 18 hours, and there's weeks that I definitely probably double that, so.
You have to be compensated for that.
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping the hours, and unfortunately, we haven't done a raise, I haven't done a raise for 4 years.
Yeah, but independent, the raise you should have every year, I think it's not fair, you work hours, it don't be paid for.
Yeah, well, they are gonna start doing that, so all I've been doing is keeping track of my hours, and I'm gonna put it for them and see
We
what
know
happens.
what you're doing, and when they do start with the construction, the siding and everything else, you're gonna be having to keep track of all of that. So,
Yeah,
of
yep,
course.
and I do, I keep track of all the hours that I'm putting in, so we'll see. I'm sure it'll be good, hopefully, when it's done,
Yeah.
so.
Should.
You're gonna check on that, right?
Yep, I'm gonna look into that.
All right.
Okay.
And
What else
then,
you got?
maintenance isn't here, but I did talk to him, and he's been doing normal maintenance. Actually, he's been going above and beyond on a lot of the projects here, working with me to get a lot of the answers, quotes, material prices, so we've been doing that. Oh, also too, we've spent quite a bit of the $19,000, which we're really happy to say. We bought, new laptops for the office, we bought the new, the iPad system for maintenance, so now everything that he does will have pictures. It's a new system that DHCD has out. We're going to be actually joining the new, it's a web system, and everything's on, it's called HD Web or something. I'm going to get trained on it, but everything's going to be in this one web in the cloud. We can do payroll, we can do anything. And the reason why this came up too is because we can all work from home, so God forbid if anything that does close, we'll all be able to work from home, and then when Mike comes in and he does maintenance or anything, he does it all through his computer, which comes to my email, so everybody's computers are connected to each other, so we can all, get the work, just
You
keep
keep
going.
an eye on his
Yeah,
progress without being in there.
everything, yeah, so we ordered that. We also ordered, next meeting, each of us will have a microphone at our desk, and we also ordered the speakers, the trusses for the gazebo, so the rest of the stuff will be ordered this week. We got the heaters coming in, we got the price on the electrician. We got air filters for here. We got all kinds of stuff. At the next meeting, I'll do a full list. But we probably spent already like $6,000 or $7,000. So, and we're gonna get as close to that 19,573 that I can.
With the gazebo too?
Yep, that it might not be built right this
Yeah,
second, but
exactly.
all the material will be here. The trusses, they already ordered those, so everything's looking good.
Mike's trying to schedule with the Bristol County.
Yeah, I have a letter going into them, so they're already on board, we just have to send them the letter, so. But as far as us having the microphone system, that's something that we've wanted for a while, and the next thing I'm looking into was little tablets for the board, because if something happens where we can't come in, then we'll all have a separate tablet that's set up for Zoom, so we can all have a Zoom meeting right from home, so that's something that we're looking into, but hopefully we'll have those coming in soon. And that's about it. If anybody can think of anything, we're open to ideas, but I think we're doing pretty good.
I think so.
You have a motion to accept the director's report.
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
You want to set a date?
Oh, yeah.
Or you want to leave it open?
Well, I can set the date, we can change it, so right now it looks like January 20th.
next year.
Yeah, next year, is it? Yeah, it's already December.
Next
Wow.
year.
Any more questions or any moment to adjourn? Do you have a motion to adjourn?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are now adjourned.